Welcome back to Stache Club Wrestling. My name is John.
My name is Dante.
We're back. We haven't done this in a while. Today, we are looking at some of your hottest takes. Basically, I sent out a post on X asking you for your hottest takes, and boy, how did you deliver.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to look at some of those today. We're going to say whether we agree, whether we disagree, where we think things could be different, blah, blah, blah. Leave some more of your hottest takes in the comments. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? And why are there? Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling to support the channel. We have merch in the description, and could you please make sure you're subscribed? We appreciate it. Dante, with that said, let's do some hot takes, huh?
Just some steaming hot takes, my good man.
And
Good
hot
luck.
take. First one, we're starting out hot. By the time WWE actually signs Joe Hendry, the hype will be gone, sadly.
Hey, good thing we take out the username because this person will be bullied. I don't agree.
I don't agree.
I think Joe Hendry just kind of has that character right now that's just stick. I mean, listen, for a guy that really was never known to the WWE audience, actually, my friend sent me this. Years ago, there was a Rusev and Lana segment back in like 15, 16, whatever, and Joe Hendry was a part of it. He was like not a translator.
I saw that. He was
like...
he's a character.
He was a character
thing,
in it, whatever. So actually, he was on WWE television, not knowingly Joe Hendry, obviously, but he showed up in NXT and everyone's singing his theme song. Like, that shit carries over to any company. I think he'd do great in WWE, and I think his character would translate over perfectly, and he'd be just as over.
And he's proven longevity. It's just the fact that like TikTok is what it is, and propels you into your moment of fame like really crazy. But the guy's been around for a while.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of different promotions. He's been signed here and there. So like he's proven that he has like this longevity. It just so happens he's the hottest right now.
Yeah. He's 36 years old. Still on the younger side in wrestling terms.
And like hype will eventually die down. However, well, also a lot of times not for wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So I think, which this is also like a very hypothetical because we don't know. I think WWE will eventually sign him to NXT. He is under contract right now. Does he get bought out of his contract? We don't know. He might not even come to WWE. Who knows? Time will tell. But I don't see this being the case, especially if it's within the next year or two.
Bayley has been just as boring of a champ as Logan Paul. Mid-tier title defenses, barely any defenses at all, and I hope they both drop their titles very soon.
This is a weird Bayley diss that's more so a Logan Paul diss snuck in there. You know what I mean?
So Bayley, I don't think she's been boring. I mean, she had a really good feud with Naomi and Tiffany that she defended it at Backlash in a great match.
So the Piper Niven match was pretty solid too.
The Piper Niven match I thought was really good for what it was. Like, kind of quickly put together, Piper Niven being the hometown girl in Scotland and stuff. I don't think it's really been boring. And you know, now that we're leading into SummerSlam, she's going to have the story with Nia Jax, Queen of the Ring. I haven't really been bored of it. I mean, has it been as entertaining as some other title reigns in the company? I'm not going to say like it's on the same level as like a Cody Rhodes, but I think it's been fine. And as far as Logan Paul goes, yes, I do agree, doesn't really defend the title often, but I think it works for his character and who he is. Like, at the end of the day, he's bringing so many eyes to WWE by like just having the belt with him. And also like he's prominent, like he's featured on weekly television like now, like maybe not every single week.
He had a match on SmackDown.
Yeah, he's been on SmackDown a lot recently. So I think him just being around and keeping the belt relevant, I think that's really good enough. I mean, that's his character. So
do I think Bayley's championship reign has been the most exciting storyline wise? No, but also I do think it's still early. Not every single champion can have like the most prominent or most hyped up reign. Like, there has to be ebbs and flows to it. Bayley's phenomenal. I think it's more so, which this might be what you're saying too. It's a lot more to do with the writing than her. But also the Logan Paul thing, I think Logan Paul has been he's fantastic.
He's awesome.
Champ.
He's awesome.
I don't know how you can look at the Logan Paul championship run and think it's boring. I think that's crazy.
And like, you know that when he's in a match or defending the belt or just in a match in general, it's gonna hit. I mean, he's phenomenal. So,
and just going by this tweet, I think Logan Paul's, and by the logic we've been talking about this whole time, I think Logan Paul's championship reign has been way more exciting than Bayley's.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is talking about.
Yeah, just as boring as Logan Paul. I think Logan. I mean, I loved his title. Do I wish he defended it a little bit more? I'm not gonna sit here and say he should. You know, but I think it's fine.
Next one, as much as I like Zoe Stark and Ivy denial, Dakota Kai should have qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match. She even got emotional on her Twitch, just wanting to be given a chance, and they still won't give it to her. Just gotta be patient, I guess. Smiley cries, tear face.
Smiley crying face.
The Twitch thing could be two things. I mean, I can't sit here and say exactly what it was, but the Twitch, I saw the clip. It could be authentic, and that's because people are very passionate about their jobs and careers and can be very passionate. I don't think it's that much deeper than just like, I'm working my ass off and I want an opportunity. 100%. I don't think it's anything as serious as like she's gonna leave for another company or anything.
Right.
But also her getting emotional on Twitch, and storyline wise, all her friends are pissed off around her. They're all losing. There's no golden damage control. Her being like, damn it, I just want an opportunity to show how great I am, I think is very storyline wise. So like, I don't know. Like I can't definitively say, it is or the other. I don't know. And I agree with you. I was rooting, and we were talking about this. I was rooting for Dakota Kai. We were talking about this in the other video we recorded. I was rooting for Dakota Kai. I do think Dakota Kai should have won. So I don't disagree in terms of I think she should get these opportunities. But
yeah, like I agree with the first half. Like I would have liked to see Dakota Kai qualify. Storyline, it makes sense that Io is the only one from Damage Control in the match. Like they had a whole backstage thing after. Like the whole getting emotional on Twitch. Like, yeah, she's passionate, and I'm sure there is some truth behind it of like, I mean, everyone wants an opportunity. Everyone wants this and that, wants a chance. But, to play devil's advocate, she's been hurt a lot, in her career. And it's like, it's hard to gain momentum and kind of be given those opportunities when you get injured. And since she's been back in 2022, she has been prominently featured on television. Even when she got injured last year, she still had been featured when she started coming around towards the end. And nowadays with social media, it's so easy to like build your character outside of the ring and outside of TV. We're like, I believe this is something that could play a part into a story later on. And I think her losing and all this stuff is just playing a part of the story that's happening right now.
I also don't think she would have won the Money in the Bank match. She was in it.
She just would have been someone that was there. I think it just would have played more into the Damage Control story more than her like winning the match.
Yeah.
So
I think she's just really good at her job.
Yeah.
She's really good at her job.
100%. Damian Priest has proved himself as a legit champion. Almost every match he's had defending the title has been a banger, and his promo work has gotten better. I agree. I agree with this. Yeah, I think the criticism when he won Money in the Bank was, is he ready to be a world champ? When he had the briefcase, it was a lot of like, he didn't know what he was doing with it. People were criticizing, why he wasn't cashing in on like Seth when he was hurt, but on TV, blah, 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 and the payoff was worth it. And since he's been champ, he's had banger matches. I think he's gotten over like that win over Drew McIntyre kind of solidified it as like, okay, like they view him as a top guy. Like he's getting these big wins over guys. He has the match with Seth coming up, which I'm assuming this video is going to come out after the match. So we'll see how that goes. I think Damian's going to win. So like,
me too.
He's getting he could potentially get these big wins under his belt to kind of even legitimize him more of a champion. And I think his promo work has been excellent. I think he holds his own. Is he going to be a world champion? Is he going to have the belt for like a year or something like that? No, I don't think he's going to have a super long reign, but I think he's doing enough he's going to be in the main event picture for the foreseeable future. And I think he can eventually, maybe one day win it again and be a multiple time champion.
Yeah, I mean, we're even guilty of, on multiple occasions, calling him like a transitional champion. We thought Drew was going to win it, especially after that match. I think that match was the real solidifier
100%
of, okay, cool. Now we want him to beat Seth and go on and solidify it.
Right.
And he's absolutely turned me into a fan of his championship run. Damian Priest, I would say, this has been one of the most successful utilizations of the Money in the Bank briefcase and the point of it.
At least in recent history, 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's really,
this is the best Money in the
really
Bank guy they've had in years.
Yeah, agreed.
So
Jacob Fatu does not make the bloodline interesting. He's a great in-ring worker, but I still don't feel invested in the story. Disagree. I think he's taking it out of the mud.
I think it's too early to give
Also
a take
true.
like this because he's only been on for 2 weeks. I don't agree with it. I do think it does make it interesting because now you got 4 bloodline members.
And he's unbelievable.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's so
in his
sick.
first he shows up, takes out Randy, Kevin, puts Cody through a table, and then this past SmackDown, triple power bombs Paul Heyman through the table, gets introduced as Solo's enforcer and stuff like that.
When it was just Tama and Tonga, like,
I'd agree with this. If this was just like take out Jay, be like, oh, since Tonga has been added, like it has not made it interesting.
Yeah,
I'd maybe agree with that.
I probably would agree with it because they're for the few weeks where it was just like those three, and I was like, okay,
like something's
what are we?
missing.
And then Jacob showed up,
Right.
And maybe there was just more hype around him. Maybe I've just been exposed to some more of his highlights. But yeah, I think the exact opposite. I think Jacob injected new life into this Bloodline 2.0 story.
As time goes on, that take that we just read is going to get colder and colder. So as soon as WWE pulls the trigger on Chad Gable and the Creed Brothers stable run, it has the potential to be the greatest stable this decade. The amount of talent in the ring is insane, and if booked properly, could be on the same level as the Shield. All right, there's a lot to unpack here. I do believe they have a ton of potential to be a great stable.
I'm surprised they didn't mention World's Greatest Tag Team 2.0.
Right.
Because that's the comparison.
Yeah,
it usually
I
gets.
think comparing them to the Shield. I mean, listen.
That's a wild comparison.
That's where this
comparison.
turns into a hot take. I mean, the same level as the Shield. The Shield, I know they were short-lived, but man, they had such an incredible run, and all three ended up being three of the most impactful wrestlers of this era, you could argue.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even put together yet. I think it's way too early to say they could be the greatest stable of this decade. I think Chad Gable is unbelievable, and when given the opportunity in the right presentation, the Creed Brothers could be, you know, one of the better tag teams on the roster. But the fact is that they really haven't been presented as that yet. You know, it's going to take a little bit, I think, to...
Oh, this decade. We have 6 more years.
We have 6 more years.
This decade.
So I think you have time to legitimize it, and, you know, it's going to take a little bit to get it going. But I think they have a ton of potential. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think it is just really early to be putting them on the level as a Shield. I think that's where I'm like, that's where you lose me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it is a hot take, so there's going to be a lot of hyperboles, you know, thrown around here. But like, I'm excited for it. Like
I can't wait.
I think the closer comparison is I think they have potential to surpass World's Greatest Tag Team. You know, that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm not going to disagree with that,
but I'm excited for when they finally actually get, you know, the singlet trio finally gets a chance.
100%. I think it's coming soon.
All right, last one, final one. Paul Heyman is the greatest manager of all time and has made the Bloodline storyline from the very beginning. The who's made the Bloodline story, who's had the most impact, and who's been the best in the Bloodline story is like a longer discussion. But at bare minimum, he's been a key player. It
100%.
wouldn't be the same without him, but I do agree. I think there is absolutely an argument to say I think he is the greatest manager of all time. I think he's unbelievable. I think he's fantastic.
You know, someone that commits to their craft so much. I don't know if you saw this, maybe you did. It was before last week's episode of SmackDown, or whenever this comes out, when he got powerbombed. You could see like he seemed like he was very like out of it, and like he seemed like exhausted. The story going around was he purposely didn't sleep like the night before.
I've heard him do stuff like that.
He commits to the bit so much.
I mean, if you look at like,
because he's so distraught.
If you look at his face during that angle, he's white as a ghost. His eyes
are bloodshot red.
Eyes are bloodshot. He's crying. His they're like red. There's more gray in his beard. You know, it's like I've never seen anyone commit more than he does. He's so passionate. You can see it in every promo, no matter who he's with, and like taking that bump through a table at what is he in
55,
his 50s?
mid-50s?
Yeah, like, oh my God.
The Bloodline story would not be the same without him. When you think of the Bloodline, you can't not think of Paul Heyman.
For sure.
It started with Roman and Paul. It's probably going to end with Roman and Paul. You can say that since the Bloodline 2.0, like since Roman's been gone, Paul Heyman has been like one of the guys that keeps it interesting.
Bloodline 2.0, I think he is absolutely
like
the most
MVP,
important.
100%.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have a list of the greatest managers of all time written in front of us. You know, there have been some great ones, but I do think he is 100% in the conversation for greatest of all time.
Even if you want to go as far as say like maybe is an argument he's top 3 best talkers. Like,
I think he's one of the best,
you know?
non-wrestlers of all time. Just like
easy.
You know what I mean? Like
this concludes this iteration of hot takes. Thank you for leaving your hot takes. We haven't done this in a while. I don't know why we don't do this.
We should do it more. Yeah.
Leave your hottest takes in the comments. What do you agree with? What did you disagree with? Make sure you're subscribed. Merch in the description, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. Follow us on everything, please.
Please.
And for the love of God, have a great rest of your day.
Come on, guys.
Please
if there's one
do
thing
it for me.
if there's one thing you should be doing is having a great rest of your day. Till next time, peace.